Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Litigation manager.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, just seeing who I had today. Thank you.
It's Miss Strong. I'm sorry, Judge. I didn't hear you.
It's okay. What's our SAP date?
May the 25th.
Okay. All right, when all the rest of the parties or the players come on screen, we'll get ready to start.
Good afternoon, Judge Mincy.
Good afternoon.
Whenever you're ready to start, we'll be starting with position number 2, Ms. Godby.
Okay. All right. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I am Judge Regina Mincy, and we're going to begin our Fulton County State Court Expedited Accusations calendar. This is a calendar for cases in which individuals have been recently arrested and charged with certain misdemeanor offenses. Soon after their arrest, the Fulton County Solicitor General's office has already accused these cases of the offenses brought against them, and the case has been bound over to the Fulton County State Court. Nevertheless, this will be the defendant's initial appearance, usually before state court judge, and we're able to address several matters, including bond, possible arraignment, and a possible plea offer if one has been made by the state at this juncture. I want to remind everyone that our reset date for SAP is May 25th. I want to also remind everyone that this whole entire proceeding is being recorded as well as live streamed on YouTube. So govern yourselves accordingly. I want to also remind the defendants on this calendar that you have certain constitutional rights. The first being you have a right to representation and to have an attorney on your behalf. You should know who that is by now. Also, you have a second constitutional right today, and that is the right to remain silent. Remember that anything that you state about the facts, the circumstances, or the occurrence of your case can and will be held against you. Listen to your attorneys so that you don't make any statements against your interest. All right. First case we're starting with is position number 2. That is Brittany Godby, 23 CR 002918Y, charged with giving false information to law enforcement officer. Another count of simple battery against a police officer, dog corrections are detention officer, and simple assault. The offense date is May the 11th, 2023, pre-trial.
12th arrest. She has an open theft by deception in Spalding County on probation and hearing for shoplifting. 2018-2019 probation violation. 2018 shoplifting conviction and a hold out of Henry County.
All right, ASG Bickerstaff.
Good afternoon, Judge Mincy. How are you?
I am fine. How about you?
I'm well, thank you. So this incident occurred yesterday at 1325 North Point Drive. And this is where the defendant told officers her name was Marissa McCurry. And she also gave the wrong birth date. She gave officers her birthday as being 7/21/1988. The defendant was resisting arrest during the encounter, and the defendant scratched the right forearm of Officer Siegel, who was standing to her left side. And while in custody, the defendant attempted to charge at another officer while Officer Kurz moved the defendant to the couch. That's when the defendant attempted to spit on Officer Kurz, but Officer Kurz moved so the defendant's spit did not make contact. For these reasons, the state's recommendation is a $6,000 surety bond, $1,000 for the false information, $2,000 for the simple battery, on a law enforcement officer and $2,000 for the simple assault.
All right,
Good afternoon, Your Honor. I'm Samantha
Good
Adams with the Fulton County Public Defender's Office. With
Thank
regards to
you.
Ms. Godby, she does in fact have a hold out of Henry. She's a 33-year-old woman, mother of a 10-year-old. Her daughter does live with her dad, but she also has a cosmetology certificate, so she does have a trade. With regards to the facts that the state has provided to the court, it's the defense's position that these facts are all issues of fact for a different court on a different day. There are other pieces that aren't in the police report. And so with regards to that, Your Honor, in trying to make the decision about bond, we are requesting that she get a signature bond so that she can be transferred over to Henry County so she can deal with that case. She's not going to be going anywhere since she already has that hold. So with that, we're requesting a signature bond in this case.
all right. I'm going to grant the $6,000 signature bond through the jail, but knowing that she will be transferred per the hold to Henry County. That'll be $1,000 on the first charge, $2,000 on the second, and $2,000 on the third charge. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons or guns while on bond. And I believe that'll be it. Anything
Yes.
else, counsel?
Your
Judge,
Honor,
that's 5.
it's 5,000. I misspoke when I said 6.
Oh, it is 5.
Yes, it's a $5,000 bond.
Well, I did the same bad math as well. So that's 2, 4, and 5. Sorry about that. $5,000 signature bond through the jail. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Judge Mincy, I have a quick announcement.
Yes.
Do we have a Spanish interpreter available?
Don't see one. Ms. Strong or
No, ma'am, we didn't receive a
Mr.
request for a
Jordan?
Spanish interpreter.
right, we didn't receive a request. It's Friday.
I
Two
did
ten.
send out
Oh,
a request. Oh,
I'm sorry. PD Wills, what'd you state?
I did email a request for an interpreter this morning, Your Honor.
Okay.
I believe Mr. Jordan was also about to speak.
Okay.
Okay, Mr. Jordan?
Well, I was just gonna, I'll get someone for you.
Okay. All right, we'll watch out for the interpreter. Thank you. What position, I'm sorry, Deputy, what position?
It's
needs the-
position 5. When we do have an interpreter available, you can just do the breakout for courtroom 3. That's where he's located.
Okay,
Thank you.
Thank
Next
you.
case will be position number 19, Mr. Williams.
okay. This is case number 23 CR 002908G. Xavier Williams, charged with 1 count of battery. The offense date is May the 11th, 2023. Pretrial,
It's his first adult arrest.
okay. And ASG Young,
Yes, Judge. This incident occurred at 112 Cortlandt Street Southwest. On this day, law enforcement responded to a report of a dispute where the accused, Johnson, along with a co-defendant, Williams, along with the co-defendant Johnson, came to this location, entered the apartment, and began assaulting the victim, causing injury to his ribs. The victim in this case is DeAndre Williams. I believe he is on the line. I'm not sure. We would ask the court to sign for him when appropriate, if so. We did have contact with him, and he did say that these individuals came to the location. The location where he was assaulted at is not where he lives. From my understanding, it's where he was just staying at temporarily with a cousin, and they came in and assaulted him. The state's recommendation is a $5,000 surety bond, no for the contact with the victim, and to stay away from the incident location or anywhere the victim is likely to be.
all right. Oh, go ahead, I'm sorry.
That's it.
Okay,
That's all.
all right. PD Adams.
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Williams is a 23-year-old man. As stated by the state, he does not have a criminal record as an adult. The matters that are on his juvenile record are also nonviolent. And with that, Your Honor, he grew up in a foster care system, so he does not have any family in Georgia, and the family that he does have, he does not have contact with. So flight is not necessarily an issue with regards to Mr. Williams. Also, Your Honor, he does not work right now, but he does have a bachelor's degree from Cal State Long Beach. He has a degree in communications and business management. He also volunteers at a safe house downtown that help the homeless. He's lived in Georgia for about a year, and he is looking for a positive change in his life. With regards to the allegations that have been made against him, those two are also issues of fact that should be ironed out. Not at this time, probably later on at another hearing.
Your Honor, if I briefly may, I was looking at the notes made by victim advocates. The victim and the defendants are co-workers. The defendant is also the co-defendant is another position on the calendar, Johnson. But anyway, they work together, and the victim does wish to stay away and to have no further contact. My understanding is that the accused believed that this incident was in regards to an intimate relationship between him and the two defendants.
Your Honor, it's my understanding that that's as it relates to the other co-defendant and not Mr. Williams.
All right. Let me sound for the victim. Is it DeAndre Williams on the Zoom? DeAndre Williams? All right. Due to the facts and the allegations that are presented, I'm going to order the $5,000 surety bond. I'm going to order no drugs, alcohol, weapons, or guns while on bond. I'm going to order no further contact with the victim, DeAndre Williams. And I think that's all. Anything else, counsel? I don't know, and I don't think you said to stay away because it's not where the victim lives, but to have no contact whatsoever with the victim, wherever the victim may be. And I believe our bond orders state can't come within 200 yards of the victim. No contact with social media, emails, phones, anything. So all of those provisions will be in the bond order. All right. That should conclude this matter.
I'm sorry, Judge, what was the bond amount?
$5,000 surety bond.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Position number 1, Mr. Clark, and he's a private attorney.
Okay. Is that, tell me how to pronounce your name,
Good afternoon, Your
counsel.
Honor.
Good afternoon. Tell me how to pronounce your last name.
Attorney. Yes, Your Honor. Attorney Okoli.
Okoli. I think
Yes, Your Honor.
your connection may be a little spotty. Let's see how it goes. I'm getting every other word.
That's not his attorney, Judge.
That's not his attorney?
No, it's not.
Oh,
It's Tucker
Attorney
Law
for
Firm.
Auditor Clerk.
It'll be Tucker Law Firm.
Yes, I'm with Tucker Law Firm. Attorney.
Oh, you are with Tucker Law
Attorney
Firm?
Okoli with the Tucker Law Firm.
Okay.
can you just check your connections and make sure they're good? I'm still getting every other word. It's a bad connection. Let's see how this goes because I cannot hear the attorney very well. Can you all hear them, deputy? Hear the attorney?
Say something again, sir.
Attorney?
All right, can you guys hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, that's a little better. Thank you. All right, this is case number 23 CR 002921J. Andre Clark. You're charged with one count of battery. The offense date is April the 11th, 2023. Pre-trial.
Second arrest. Got an open
Okay.
simple battery. 22 CR 003775J. That's it.
All right, thank you. ASG Young.
Yes, Your Honor, that open battery is against the same victim. And from my understanding, there's also an open case in DeKalb County where they just had a hearing, I believe, back maybe in September, where he was to have no further contact with the victim. But anyway, on this day, 4/11/2023, at 1116 Medallion Street Southwest, the victim, Kizzy Jackson, went to the store. As she was leaving the store, the accused pulled up and got out the car, slapped her, and left. The state does have concerns given that he recently just had a no further contact and a stay away in the simple battery. There was a 9/18/2022 motion from the state to revoke his bond. And then the order for the stay away and the no further contact was granted on 10/6/2022. Plus the DeKalb case, we do have some concerns for that. The state's recommendation is a $6,000 cash bond, stay away from the victim's address, and no further contact with the victim. We would ask the court to sign for the victim when appropriate, and no alcohol, drugs, or weapons while on bond.
All right, I see someone by the name of Kizzy. Is Kizzy Jackson on the line, the victim? Do you wish to address the court? Ms. Jackson, Kizzy Jackson? Going once, going twice. Kizzy Jackson. All right, we will go forward if she's not on the Zoom or stepped away. All right, go ahead, attorney. Is it Okolai?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, you may present.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Your Honor, this is just a matter of unrequited love. My client has actually been trying to stay away from Mrs. Jackson. Mrs. Jackson has made several attempts to contact him. She's actually the one who's facilitated the contact with him. She recently used online methods and anonymous methods to try and get his attention. He has no problem staying away from her. We would be requesting a signature bond here, Your Honor. My client, he has a job, he works, he has no criminal history outside of this matter that's been happening with his ex-girlfriend, who he has since moved on with his life. He has no problem staying away from her. As such, Your Honor, we would just be requesting a signature bond here for this particular instance.
Your Honor, if I may briefly.
Yes.
He does have more than just this case. And it's the DeKalb County case, and then the second case is also in state court. And I misspoke earlier. He was charged in DeKalb County September 18th of 2022. They just had a court hearing on April 3rd where the defendant was to stay away from the victim. And within 8 days, he violated that order by committing this offense. So that's why the state again asked for the $6,000 cash bond.
Your Honor, may I address the court?
Yes.
Your Honor, when I said that he has no criminal history outside of these events, all of the events stem from the same person, same relationship. It's just a matter of unrequited love. He's since moved on his life. He has a new relationship, and it appears that the alleged victim is the one having the issue, moving on, and is trying to facilitate the contact. He's not the one facilitating the contact, Your Honor.
Well, it does concern me. And it is the court's responsibility to make sure that the victim will be safe. And we have two actions, two allegations very close in time. And so I do have concerns about that. I guess regardless of who came to who, and those facts can be sorted out later. I'm going to order a $3,000 cash bond. And I'm going to order no drugs, alcohol, weapons, or guns while on bond. I'm going to order no further contact with Kizzy Jackson, staying 200 yards or more away from her. I'm going to order a stay away from the 1116 Medallion Street Southwest. And yes, that's all out order at this time. Okay.
Thank you for your
Anything
time, Your
else,
Honor.
counsel? All right, thank you.
Position 13, Reeves. Put your mask on.
This is 23 CR 0029004E. Mr. Reeves, you're charged with 1 count of pandering. The offense date is May the 11th, 2023. Pre-trial.
Hold on for a minute.
It's I couldn't pronounce the first name. Caviaro Reeves.
Yeah, hold on real quick.
Okay.
Make sure not. Oh my. Yeah, 71 total. Last arrest was back in September for obstruction. That's open clearly. Open, suspended license, aggressive driving, possession of marijuana, on probation in the cab for shoplifting, another shoplifting, on probation in Fulton, theft by receiving, possession of cocaine, another possession of cocaine, and another one. What else we got? 2021 failure to appear probation violation. That's it.
All right. State.
Yes, Your Honor. So this incident occurred yesterday at 2471 Old National Parkway. And this is where the defendant met with an undercover officer to solicit sexual acts. Specifically,
I hear anybody talking.
he stated he would pay $50 and 10 pills for sexual acts. For this reason, the state's recommendation is a $1,500 surety bond and to stay away from 2471 Old National Parkway, as well as no alcohol, drugs, or weapons while out on bond.
All right. E.B. Wills.
Thank you, Judge, and good afternoon.
Afternoon.
Mr. Reeves is 41, and this is the first of several cases that are on the calendar with the same or similar facts. Mr. Reeves is 41, as I stated. He is originally from Georgia. He has his high school diploma. He has 5 children, 3 of which reside with him in his home. He is currently employed through First Step Staffing at Olay Foods in their warehouse, where he has been employed there for the past 6 months. Mr. Reeves denies the allegations as alleged. He states that it was actually the undercover officer who approached him and also first mentioned the pills and the exchange of either goods, money for sex, and that he actually was not at the hotel, that he was at the Valero gas station, which is nearby. All of these cases, and speak with my clients, they all have very similar defenses and stories about how all of this came to be. It's very concerning, and I believe with further investigation that the state might not have a very strong case for this sting. I'm asking for a signature on bond for Mr. Reeves. If Your Honor is not so inclined, I would ask for a $250 surety bond.
All right. I'm going to order the $1,500 surety bond. I'm going to order a stay away from 2471 Old National Parkway. I'm going to order no drugs, alcohol, weapons while on bond. And that will be it.
Position 18, Towns.
Okay. This is 23 CR 002911B, Edwin Towns, charged with pandering. May 11, 2023.
First arrest.
State.
Yes, Your Honor. Again, this incident happened yesterday at the same location as the previous defendant, 2471 Old National Parkway. Officers met with the defendant. The defendant met with an undercover officer to solicit sex, specifically the defendant to pay $50 for sexual acts. The state's recommendation is a $1,500 surety bond to stay away from 2471 Old National Parkway, and no alcohol, drugs, or weapons while out on bond.
All right. PD Adams.
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Towns is a 36-year-old man. He is a father. He actually has 4 children and 1 on the way. The one that's on the way is actually due on the 31st of this month. Currently, he's a seasonal contractor and has not been working. As previously stated by my colleague, Ms. Willis, this is another one of those cases where my client was approached by someone, and all of the facts essentially from all of my clients are essentially very, very similar with regards to how they were approached, the way in which they were asked about money. And the thing about Mr. Towns is he has no predisposition to something like this. So with regards to that, and the fact that he is a seasonal worker, he has a baby on the way, and he currently does not have an active job, considering the fact that his contract work is out of season at this time, we are requesting a signature bond from Mr. Towns. And if the court does not see that a signature bond is fit, we are requesting a $250 surety.
Okay. I'm going to order a $1,500 signature bond. Signature bond through the jail. I'm going to order no drugs, alcohol, weapons, or guns while on bond. And I'm going to order a stay away from 2471 Old National Parkway. That will be it.
Position 12, Mr. Ray, he chose not to waive his appearance.
Then I will need a breakout room for Mr. Ray.
You can give him a call, Ms. Wills, and then we'll just do Ms. Adams' cases. Go ahead and have a seat.
Okay.
Position 17, Thomas. Ms. Wills, you can call 404-612-2392.
Calling now, thank you.
All right. This is 23 CR 002915H, Reginald Thomas, charged of 1 count of pandering on May 11, 2023.
Reginald Thomas. Second arrest. 2016 DUI, no insurance, failed to yield, out of Kansas. That's it.
All right, state.
Yes, Your Honor. So this incident occurred yesterday at 2471 Old National Parkway, where the defendant met with an undercover officer to solicit sexual acts, specifically to pay $50 for oral sex. The state's recommendation is a $1,500 surety bond and to stay away from 2471 Old National Parkway, as well as no alcohol, drugs, or weapons while out on bond.
All right.
Yes, thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Thomas is a 27-year-old man. He actually is gainfully employed. He works for Amazon, and he's currently in school, working to get he's about halfway through working to get his certificate in HVAC. Again, as the state has provided, he has not had any run-ins with the law since 2016, and even that was nothing to the nature of what he's being accused of today. The facts of this case are also incredibly similar with regards to the others, Your Honor. And with that, we are requesting a signature bond for Mr. Thomas. And if the court is not inclined to give a signature bond, we are asking for a $250 surety.
All right. I'm going to order a $1,500 signature bond through the jail. I'm going to order no drugs, alcohol, weapons, or guns while on bond, and a stay away from 2471 Old National Parkway.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Hey, Ms. Wills, for Mr. Ray, position 12, are we still moving forward or is it gonna be a waiver of appearance?
I don't want to upset him, but I need a breakout room for him. So whatever is gonna be most appropriate for y'all.
Okay, we'll do all the breakouts at the end.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Position 15, say.
All right, this is 23 CR 002907C. Mohammed Say, charge of 1 count of pandering. Offense date is May 11th, 2023.
Second arrest,
Retrial? Okay,
2019 FTA.
okay.
That's it.
State,
Yes, similar to the other pandering defendants, this incident occurred yesterday at 2471 Old National Parkway. And this is where the defendant met with an undercover officer to solicit sexual acts. Specifically, the defendant would pay $70 for oral sex and other sexual acts. For this reason, the state's recommendation is a $1,500 surety bond to stay away from 2471 Old National Parkway, and no alcohol, drugs, or weapons while out on bond.
all right. PD Adams,
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Say is a 29-year-old man. He's a husband. He's a father of 3. He was gainfully employed, but he was a contractor, and his contract recently has expired. He has a master's degree in info technology administration. The only arrest that the state has even been able to provide is that FTA, and the only reason why he even had that was because he was living in another state and didn't receive his notice for court. But he took care of it expeditiously with regards to that. Mr. Say also does community service within the Islamic Community Center that he attends. He teaches children the Quran. He is a father of 3, ages 3, 5, and 6. He's a very active parent, and he is a devoted husband. The facts of this case are similar to the others where he was approached, and I think that the state is going to have some issues with that case moving forward. With that, Your Honor, we are requesting that Mr. Say be given a signature bond, and if the court is not inclined, we ask for a $250 surety bond.
all right. I'm going to order the $1,500 signature bond through the jail. I'm going to order no drugs, alcohol, or weapons or guns while on bond. And that should, oh, and a stay away from the 2471 Old National Parkway. That's it.
There, Mr. Say. Position 14, Robinson.
This
Your
is, uh-huh.
I apologize. I didn't know if Ms. Willis was back. But I
Oh,
see.
okay, she's back. Gotcha. All right, 23 CR 002905A. This is Titus Robinson, charged with 1 count of battery, a 2nd count of willful obstruction of a law enforcement officer. Offense date May 11, 2023. Pre-trial,
25 total. Last arrest was in December, driving without a valid license. That's open. In America, it's got an open disorderly conduct, reckless conduct, entering auto. theft by taking, possession of a firearm by convicted felon, or felony first offender. Alabama, family offense DV, 2022 FTA, 2018 parole violation, 2015 probation, and a 2015 disorderly conduct conviction. That's it.
All right. State.
Yes, Your Honor. So this incident occurred yesterday at 4511 Campbellton Road, and this is where officers arrived and responded to a drunk and disorderly person. The store clerk advised that he didn't want the defendant in the store anymore because he was being disruptive due to his intoxication. So while attempting to detain the defendant, he refused to put his legs in the patrol cruiser despite receiving verbal commands to do so. And while en route to Grady Hospital, the defendant kicked Nurse Pete Powell in the right arm during the process of him administering medication to the defendant, and it resulted in bruising on Mr. Powell. For these reasons, the state's recommendation is a $4,000 surety bond, $3,000 for the battery, $1,000 for the willful obstruction, 1 day anger awareness, no further contact with Nurse Pete Powell unless there's an emergency and they come across each other at the hospital again, and to stay away from 4511 Campbellton Road, as well as no alcohol, drugs, or weapons while out on bond. And I would like to sound for Mr. Powell if he's on the Zoom call.
Mr. Pete Powell. Pete Powell. All right, go ahead, PD Wills.
Thank you, Judge. Mr. Robinson is 38 years old. He is originally from Georgia. He has obtained his high school diploma. He reports he has 3 children, and recently was hired through BG Staffing as a maintenance tech. He just began this job 2 days ago, and he's very eager to get to work. In speaking with Mr. Robinson, he states that the clerk did not want to pursue charges, that he was asked to leave the store, and he left the store. He was sitting inside of a vehicle when law enforcement arrived. And then once law enforcement arrived, they detained him, took his ID, and that is when they discovered this warrant out of Americus, Georgia. I believe Mr. Robinson might have an argument for unlawful detainment based on those facts. He states that he was in his vehicle, he was not disrupting the public or the peace, and but for his ID being absconded from him, he would not have been arrested. As your court, Your Honor, can see, there are no criminal trespass charges or anything of that nature, or disorderly conduct charges. Furthermore, my client argues that he did not have any intent to strike the alleged victim in this case, that they were administering medication, and as a reflex, his foot kicked up, but he had no intent to make contact with the complaining witness in that situation. For all of those reasons, Your Honor, I would ask for I would ask for a signature bond. And if Your Honor is not so inclined, I would ask for $1,000 surety bond. I spoke with my client. He has some confusion about this warrant out of Americus, Georgia. He does not believe that he should have an active warrant. And I have spoken with him about that and advised that he speak with his attorney there so that he does not have this issue in the future.
Okay. I'm going to order a $4,000 surety bond. I'm going to order that breakdown be $3,000 on the battery, $1,000 on the willful obstruction. I'm going to order a stay away from 4511 Campbellton Road, and no further violent contact with Nurse Pete Powell, except if he is receiving medical treatment. What was the medical facility?
They were en route to Grady Hospital.
Oh, they were in the ambulance.
I believe.
At the hospital, ma'am. I was at the hospital already. I was on a hospital bed.
Can't, you should not talk. It might be against your interests. Okay. So it was at Grady. All right. I would say stay away from there, but I'm assuming, again, that if he were to need any other medical services, that he would be able to get them at Grady, but obviously not to have any more violent contact with any employees there at all. But we'll just stick to Nurse Pete Powell at this point, no further violent contact. And the stay away will just be from the Campbellton Road address. I won't do a stay away from Grady yet. And no drugs, alcohol, or weapons or guns while on bond. That should be it. Your client,
Mr. Robinson, do you have a question? Mr. Robinson, do you have a question about your bond?
I don't even understand the bond. I'm understanding I got 3 bonds. I got 3 different bonds amount, but I only got obstruction. My charges are obstruction and my obstruction and battery. So what do the unlawful obstruction and all these other charges come in from?
Sir, that's correct. You only have 2 charges and you have bonds for both of those 2 charges.
How much my bond in total, man? I understand.
$4,000 surety bond.
We're gonna explain it to you. Come on. Position 16, Smith. Oh, quick announcement, Judge. Can you please let
Yes.
us know when the Spanish interpreter comes on so that way we can,
okay.
okay.
I don't see the interpreter yet. Okay, this is position 16, 23 CR 002909E, Mark Smith, charge of 1 count of pandering, May the 11th, 2023.
Second arrest, 2005, battery trespass dismissed.
All right, state.
Yes, Your Honor. So this incident occurred yesterday at 2471 Old National Parkway, where the defendant met with an undercover officer to solicit sexual acts, specifically that the defendant would pay $50 for oral sex. The state's recommendation is $1,500 surety bond to stay away from 2471 Old National Parkway, as well as no alcohol, drugs, or weapons while out on bond.
All right.
Yes, thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Smith is a 46-year-old man who lives here in Georgia. He is gainfully employed with Delta Airlines. He has 2 children that live in California, but he is a very active parent. One of the benefits he has from working with Delta is he's able to travel on a very regular basis to be able to see his children. He's completed 3 years of college. He does some community service, promoting local vendors with their products. He also coaches and mentors children. As stated, his last arrest was 2005, but he has no convictions. He's also an Army vet. He's disabled, so he has some physical limitations, Your Honor, and also deals with some other issues with regards to that. And with that, Your Honor, he does not have any criminal record. And so this is outside of the character in which, the accusation is outside of his character. I think that the state is going to have a hard time, again, as previously stated with the other cases that were involved in the same sting operation, with making the case in which they have attempted to make these accusations. With that, Your Honor, we're requesting a signature bond from Mr. Smith.
All right, I'm going to order a $1,500 signature bond through the jail. I'm going to order no drugs, alcohol, weapons, or guns while on bond. I'm going to order a stay away from 2471 Old National Parkway. And that should do it.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're done, huh? Position 11, Lowry.
This is 23 CR 002916G, Jamie Lowry, charged with 1 count of pandering, 2nd count of marijuana possession less than an ounce. Offense date May 11, 2023.
Second arrest, 2020 driving without a valid license.
State,
Yes, Your Honor. This incident occurred yesterday at 2471 Old National Parkway. Gets us another one of those sting operations. Yeah, law enforcement were in this area performing a sting operation where the accused did solicit sexual favors for $60 from the undercover officer. And when he was arrested, he was found with marijuana in his possession. I believe there's a current $2,500 surety bond with $2,000 on the pandering and $500 for the marijuana. The state is, we're going to go along with that bond.
PD Wills.
Thank you, Judge. Mr. Lowry is 37 years old. He has been in Georgia, resided in Georgia for the past 18 years. He has 2 children. He is gainfully employed by Bosch as a forklift operator, and he has been there for the past 10 months. And again, the undercover agent or officer approached my client. I find it interesting that all of these men offered the same amount of money within $10. Very curious. However, it is my client's second arrest. We do understand that he has the additional charge of possession. I would also ask for a signature bond for Mr. Lowry for both counts. And if Your Honor is not so inclined to offer a signature bond for the possession, I would ask for a $250 surety bond.
I am going to order the $2,500 signature bond through the jail. That would be $2,000 on the pandering, $50, I'm sorry, and $500 on the marijuana. Total $2,500 signature bond through the jail. No drugs, alcohol, weapons, or guns while on bond, and a stay away from 2471 Old National Parkway. Okay.
Thank
That
you.
should conclude that case.
Position 9, Lee. Hold on.
23 CR 002910C, Cal Lee, charged with 1 count of pandering, May the 11th, 2023, pretrial.
Let's see, Lee. 8th arrest, last was 2018 suspended license. And 2017, destroy, conceal, remove property. First offender, that was it.
Okay, state.
Yes, Your Honor. This incident is also another one of those cases from the sting operation. It happened yesterday at the Old National Parkway. In this case, it was $50 were offered for sexual favors. States, and there's a current 2,000 surety. State's going to go along with that bond.
Say that again, I'm sorry.
He has a 2,000 surety that was preset. The state is going to go along with that bond in this case.
Okay. All right, PD Wills.
Thank you, Judge. Mr. Lee is 34 years old. As was stated, his last arrest was 5 years ago, and it was for a traffic violation. He has resided in Georgia for the past 16 years, and he has completed some college. He is the father of 4 children, all of which reside in the home with him. Mr. Lee is a general manager at a Captain D's, where he has been employed there for the past 4 months. And again, Mr. Lee denies the allegations as alleged. As with the other clients that I spoke with who were victim of this sting, they all state they were at the Valero gas station pumping gas and that they were approached by the undercover officer. So again, I would ask for a signature on bond. Mr. Lee has also been recommended for an unsecured judicial release as well by pretrial.
All right. I'm going to order the $2,000 signature bond. And I'm going to order that signature bond be through the jail. I'm going to order no drugs, alcohol, weapons, or guns while on bond. I'm gonna order stay away from 2711. May have the address on 2471 Old National Parkway.
Position 10, Little.
23 CR 002917E, Kenneth Little, charged with 1 count of criminal trespass and damage to property. Offense date April the 1st, 2023. Pretrial.
14 total. 2018 ag stalking. I think that was dismissed, and sale of cocaine. 2012 battery trespass conviction. 07 battery conviction. 04 simple battery conviction. That's it.
Okay,
Yes,
Yes.
Your Honor, I'm sorry.
okay, go ahead.
This occurred on April 1, 2023 at 1881 Myrtle Drive Southwest, apartment 603 in Atlanta. The victim in this case is Rosa Clemens. We would ask the court to sound for her when appropriate. Law enforcement responded to that incident location on that date and spoke with the victim and her adult daughter, who was also on scene, who stated that the accused, who was also her grandson, came to this location and began acting aggressive toward her. So she went into a bedroom, shut the door. Next, there was hitting on the door with some hard object, which caused damage to the door. The state's recommendation in this case is a 2000 surety, stay away from the incident location, and no further contact with the victim, Rosa Clemens.
Okay. PD Wills,
Would the court like to sound for Ms. Clemens?
yes. Ms. Rosa Clemens on the line. Rosa Clemens on.
Your Honor, I'm sorry, but
Yes.
real briefly, looking at the note, she's unable to attend Zoom, and she does not wish to participate in the prosecution of her grandson. However, the state does have some concerns given his history and whatnot.
All right. All right, go ahead, PD Will.
Mr. Little is 42 years old. This incident did occur back in April 1st of this year. Mr. Little is from Georgia. He completed technical school where he received diplomas in HVAC and plumbing. He has 7 children. He reports he's currently employed by the city of Atlanta for the watershed department. Also, he works and he has been employed there for the past 4 years. He also is employed by the aquarium and the gift shop, and he has been employed there for the past week. Mr. Little denies the allegations as alleged. However, he states that after this incident, during the time of the incident when it took place, he was residing in the home with his grandmother. However, he has moved. He has a different address and has provided me with that address. And he has stated he has not had contact with Ms. Clemens since that time. So for those reasons, I do not believe that there's any risk of reoffense. He states that he does not desire to have any contact at this time, and he just wants to get back to work. Mr. Little was also recommended for unsecured judicial release, and I would ask for a signature bond in the amount of $2,000. And if your honor is not so inclined, I would ask for a $250 surety bond, as Mr. Little has not been arrested in over a decade, with the exception of the one case which was dismissed.
Okay. I'm going to order a $3,000 signature bond through pretrial per judge. I'm going to order a stay away from 1881 Myrtle Street Southwest. I assume he lives somewhere different, correct? All right, and no further contact with the victim, Rosa Clemens. No drugs, alcohol, weapons, or guns while on bond. And that'll be it for now.
Thank you, Judge. And yes, he does reside somewhere else.
Okay.
Position 8, Johnson.
Okay.
And I just wanted to make an announcement. This was a case I discovered last minute, that there was a conflict. Oh,
Uh-huh.
okay, Mr. Cloud is, okay, I'm sorry.
Good. All right. This is 23 CR 002906G, Philip Johnson, charged at 1 count of battery. The offense date is May the 11th, 2023. Pretrial.
Fifth arrest, 2021 trespass, 2019 battery DV first offender, 2015 fade to appear.
All right. State.
Yes, Your Honor, this is the co-defendant from the Xavier Williams, the defendant that was on earlier. This occurred at the 112 Cortlandt Street Southwest address against DeAndre Williams, where Mr. Johnson, along with Mr. Williams, came to this location and assaulted the victim, causing injury. Again, we would ask the court to sign for the victim if he is online at this time. However, our office did have contact with him to where he stated that he works with the defendants and he did have a romantic relationship with both. And for that reason, he believed he was assaulted. And the state is going to go along with the 5,000 surety that's preset, no further contact with the victim, stay away from the incident location or anywhere the victim is likely to be, since I don't believe he lives at that location, but the victim does wish to have a stay away from that apartment complex to which the incident occurred.
Okay. Ms. McLeod?
Yes, Your Honor. I just would like some clarification from the state as to where they are alleging that this incident occurred. I just want to make sure it's not where my client lives.
It's 112 Cortlandt Street Southwest.
Well, that is where my client lives. He lives in that complex.
Does he live? Give me just a moment. Let me pull up the warrant. Philip Johnson. This incident occurred at apartment 21402 at 112 Cortlandt Street. It's the 112 Cortlandt Apartments.
Is that the same apartment number or just in the same complex?
My understanding is that it's the same complex, Your Honor.
Okay, but different apartments.
That is my understanding.
I see your client shaking his head. Can you give us his apartment number?
What is your apartment number, Mr. Johnson?
He's muted.
I never received one.
I'm sorry?
You don't have.
I don't think I ever received any number.
Do you live in that complex?
Yes, ma'am.
And what apartment number do you live in?
Oh, I'm sorry. I stay in 1001. Thought you was asking for another number.
1001. Okay. Is it not enough numbers? The other one was apartment 21402.
Well, it's tricky because there's two buildings. So one build, the first building will start with 1 and my building start with 2. So it'll say 2101. It'll look like that.
Oh, okay.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Thank you. Go ahead, Ms. McLeod.
Yes, Your Honor. My client is 28 years old. He is currently a student at Georgia State University. He tells me that he's studying criminal justice. He is a junior. He denies the allegations that he attacked the complaining witness, Your Honor. In fact, he told me that they do work together and he had just gone there to get something that was in this apartment, and he denies that he assaulted this person at all or battered him in any way. Based on what I heard pretrial say, it sounds to me like my client does not have any significant criminal history, and I would definitely ask the court to consider giving him a signature bond so he can get back to jail, get get back to work, I'm sorry, and get out of jail and get back to work and to his life. I would also ask the court not to ask him to stay away from this complex because this is where he lives and he doesn't have anywhere else to go. Nothing further, Your Honor.
All right, state. The state has asked for a stay away.
Yes, Your Honor. Since he lives in the same apartment complex, he said there's 2 buildings. I'm unsure how the numbering is structured, but if the victim lives in a separate building, then is it possible for the court to issue a stay away from that building?
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Johnson, I notice your hand is up. Is this in relation to your bond? Because if it's not in relation to your bond, I would ask you not to say anything and to just give me a call later if you need clarification on anything.
All right. I'm going to order a $4,000 surety bond. I'm going to order a stay away from 112 Portland Street, Building 2, and our apartment number 21402. No further contact with the victim, DeAndre Williams. And no drugs, alcohol, weapons, or guns while on bond. Anything else, counsel?
I see Mr. Johnson has his hand up again. Mr. Johnson, is there something to do with your bond that you need to speak about?
In a way, yes, I would say. First and foremost, I appreciate the bond. I have a pup at the house that has not been fed the last few days. You know what I'm saying? And
Well, you now have a bond.
yes, but the problem with that is I haven't been able to, I'm not able to call nobody. I'm not able to get in contact with anyone. You know, the signature would have been much helpful towards me, for real. I don't know.
Well, you do have some history, which is the reason that I did not give you a signature bond.
Yes, ma'am.
Your Honor, what was that bond amount?
$4,000, surety.
Judge, the interpreter is on.
Oh, I see it.
Does not stay there at all. Just like that.
Judge, maybe,
That's the ruling of the court. Yes, ma'am.
you said stay away from building 2 and what else? So I can put it on.
Oh,
the board correctly?
apartment number 21402.
21402. Okay.
Is
Thank
the
you.
apartment number for the victim, yes. All right, that is the ruling of the court. Who do we have next?
Courtroom 2 muted.
Oh, you muted courtroom 2.
I thought you was ignoring me.
No, sir, not at all. Never anyone at the Fulton County Jail.
This is gonna be position number 7, Mr. Jean-Louis.
Okay,
All right.
That's another case that I need a breakout room on, Your Honor.
okay,
All right,
okay,
so we'll just put him to the back end.
yes.
And I had also asked that he be waived.
I explained that to him and he said that he did not waive, and also Mr. Ray said he didn't waive. They wanted to be here for court.
Okay, I understand. Thank you.
All right. You go sit over there. So we can go to position number 6, Mr. Jackson.
Okay. This is 23 CR 002903A. Nakia Jackson, charged with 1 count of battery family violence. That offense date is February 27th, 2023. Pre-trial.
12 total. Last arrest 2005. Possession of a controlled substance. I didn't see any violence.
Okay. State.
Yes, Your Honor. This incident occurred back in February 27th of this year at 3249 3 Washington Road in East Point, Georgia. The victim in this case is, I know I'm gonna mispronounce her name, Nakaria Jackson. The spelling is Nakiria. On this day, law enforcement responded to that location in reference to a dispute. Upon arrival, law enforcement spoke with the victim, who stated that her father, the accused, Mr. Nakia Jackson, had punched her, causing scratches to her face, and busted her lip during the attack. The attack happened in response to a dispute between the father and the mother. And the victim was going to call 911, and that's when the assault on her began. My office has not had any contact with the victim. We have had some contact with the mother. And the state's recommendation in this case is a $4,000 surety bond, no further contact with the victim, stay away from the incident location, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons while on bond, and 1 day anger awareness.
All right. PD Wills.
Thank you, Judge. Mr. Jackson is 48 years old. He is from Georgia. He reports that he has completed up to the 11th grade. He is married, and he is currently unemployed at this time, as is his wife. He is the father of 5 children, including Miss Nakiria, who is 23 years old. My client denies the allegations as alleged. He states that there was a disagreement between himself and his daughter, that he did knock her phone out of her hand. And after that, her daughter, or his daughter, and his son proceeded to attack him, and that they actually broke his nose and injured him. My client denies knowing about this warrant. The alleged victim in this case does not reside in the home with my client, and they have had communication since this time and contact, and there have been no further issues. So I would ask that there be no further violent contact between my client and his daughter, as they do not reside together. Also, my client has not been arrested in almost 20 years. This incident happened back in February. So I would ask for a signature on bond. If your honor is not so inclined, I would ask for a $750 surety bond.
All right, I do see that this incident happened in February. The parties do not reside together, is that correct? Or
That's
do we
correct, Your
not?
Honor.
Okay. All right, I'm going to order a $4,000 signature bond. And that signature bond will be through pretrial per judge. And with that $4,000 pretrial bond, I'm going to order a stay away from 32493 Washington Road. No further contact with Nakiria Jackson. No drugs, alcohol, weapons, or guns while on bond. And that'll be it for now. Anything else, counsel?
Nothing from the defense. Thank you, Judge.
Briefly,
Yes.
Your Honor, our office did have some contact with her, and she does want contact with him, and she wishes him to return home, but she did confirm the events in the warrant, and she said that she does live at that location.
Uh-oh.
Well, my client, his address isn't listed. It's not the address that the state had on the record. It's a different address. I have an Emerald Point Circle address.
Is that Mr. Jackson back?
Correct. Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Jackson, do you live on Washington Road
Yes,
with
I
the
do.
victim, with your daughter?
I stay with me and my wife stay on Washington Road.
You and your wife. Where does your daughter stay?
She stay wherever she stay. She just come there sometimes.
Our victim advocate just reiterated that the victim said that she lives at the Washington address.
She don't stay there.
Well, when I spoke with my client, I asked, there's a different address that's listed on his information. So I would ask that there just be no further violent contact.
Right.
His daughter is 23 years old. So maybe she's in and out of the home, but again, this happened almost 3 months ago and there have been no other incidents.
I tend to agree, State. There's certainly been a cooling off period. And if we've had nothing happen since then I will remove the stay away and order no further violent contact with the victim in this case.
Thank you, Judge.
Position 3, Harkness.
And we do have the interpreter on the line. I see. Does she need to go on a breakout?
I believe Ms. Adams is in the breakout room
She's
currently.
in there with her. Okay, good. This is 23 CR 002919G, Robert Lee Harkness, charged with 1 count of criminal trespass, 2nd count of willful obstruction of a law enforcement officer, 3rd count of loitering and prowling. Offense date May 11, 2023. Good trial.
Second arrest. Last arrest was back in September. Possession of a pistol or revolver by a person under 18 years of age. That's open in the cab.
Okay.
Excuse me, what about the willful obstruction of a law enforcement officer?
What about it? Who's speaking?
This is Officer Blunt in courtroom 2. He has a willful obstruction on his booking sheet.
Oh, did I not read 3 charges?
This is 4 charges on here.
Oh, you have a 4th charge.
Yes,
The
ma'am.
theft of mislaid property charge was dismissed by the state.
Okay then, thank you.
Thank you. All right. State.
Yes, Your Honor, this incident occurred yesterday. It looks like, as I was trying to follow along in the warrants, it began at 142 Auburn Avenue, but ended at 156 Edgewood Avenue. That's the Georgia State University. When law enforcement responded to Auburn Avenue and Piedmont in reference to some auto burglaries being reported, they observed the accused in the parking lot of 142 Auburn, where there were 2 vehicles that had been burglarized. They didn't see him burglarize it, but he fled on foot. He jumped the fence onto the Georgia State University where he was caught. There was a video that showed the accused jumping the fence into the Georgia State University property as he was fleeing from officers, where he was trying to discard stolen merchandise believed to be stolen. So the state's going to recommend a bond of $4,000 surety. That's $2,000 on the criminal trespass, and then $1,000 for the obstruction, and another $1,000 for the loitering, and to stay away from GSU, and no alcohol, drugs, or weapons while on bond.
Okay. PD Wills.
Thank you, Judge. Mr. Harkness is only 18 years old. He's originally from Georgia. He's completed up to the 11th grade. He does not have any children. He reports that he is a cashier at the varsity, and he denies the allegations as alleged. He states that he was innocently leaving a party and had nothing to do with, I guess, the charges as alleged, Your Honor. Given my client's age, I would ask for a signature on bond. If Your Honor is not so inclined, I would ask for $1,000 bond. That would be a very high bond considering my client's employment and his young age.
All right. I'm going to order the $4,000 signature bond through pretrial per judge. I'm going to order the $2,000 on the criminal trespass, $1,000 on the obstruction, $1,000 on the loitering and prowling. I'm going to order no drugs, alcohol, weapons, or guns while on bond. And I think that's going, as far as to stay away from Georgia State University. I assume Mr. Harkness is not a student there.
He is not, and we have no objection to the stay away.
All right. And so that's a pretty large area and territory, Mr. Harkness, for downtown Atlanta. I know it says you work at the varsity, but I guess you shouldn't travel too far away from there because you'll probably end up on some Georgia State property. So be careful about that and not to be on any properties or locations that belong to Georgia State while you're on bond. All right,
Judge, what was that bond?
$4,000
Good.
signature bond through pretrial per judge.
Your Honor.
Yes.
Hello, Will Kelbaugh. I have just this moment realized that Malik Drummond, who's my client, was on the calendar today, I believe.
He's coming.
I had filed an entry yesterday. He had a complaint room case, and we had a preliminary hearing on that yesterday, and the felony was dismissed, so it was transferred to state court. I did not realize the speed with which the solicitor's office would accuse the case and have it on this calendar. So that's why I am late and have not filed an entry.
Oh, no worries. Let's see, did I just see something come through from Mr. Jordan?
Your Honor, I had been asked to represent him, and
Okay.
I spoke with him, and he indicated that he wished to waive his appearance. So I was waiting on his case number so I could file the waive of appearance. But now that his attorney's here, I guess he's competent to handle it. But Mr. Jones did indicate that he did not wish to appear.
I think Mr. Kelbaugh can manage, I believe.
I suspect that he can, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr.
Right.
Brown.
Let's see, and I don't have that in front of me. I was getting ready to print that. I saw that come through, but I did not print it yet. So Ms. Strong, read that one for me. Well, is that who's sitting before me in courtroom 2? Or is that someone else?
I believe he told me he was going to waive his appearance.
Oh,
but
you just said that. You just said that. Hold on, Mr. Kelbaugh. Let's see who this is, and then we'll do the waiver after the last person, if you don't mind.
Of course not, Your Honor. I will
Okay.
patiently wait.
Your Honor,
All right, thank you.
I was waiting just to do Mr. Drummond's case. So since his attorney is here, my business is concluded. May I be excused?
Yes, you may. Have a good weekend.
Thank you, Your Honor. The same to you.
Thank you. All right. Ms. Strong? Or Mr. Jordan?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, do me a favor. I didn't print that add-on page. Can you sound for me with that case number?
It's 22 CR 002-922A.
All right. And his name?
It's Malik, Malik, Drummond, Drummond, with the charge of battery.
Okay.
Offense
what's-
date is February the 2nd, 2023.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, thank you. All right, go ahead, state. Oh, I'm sorry, pretrial. Do you have him pretrial?
11 total, 2017 criminal damage to property, 2 counts. 2 counts of entering auto, possession of marijuana conviction, 2018 FTA, and possession of a controlled substance conviction. And I think he got some felony charges. That's it.
All right, state.
Yana, excuse me, I may be a little confused. Are we on Malik or another position?
Drummond.
Malik Drummond.
Okay, well, Mr.
Yes.
Drummond, okay.
Yeah.
Yes, he was charged with battery. Let me see. There was an altercation at the jail where there were some other inmates. He began striking the victim. Let me see. DeMarcus Bussey, who was also incarcerated there, in the face multiple times. causing visible injury. The state's recommendation on bond in that case is a $4,000 surety. No further contact with the victim. And I guess there's no need for a stay away. They were in jail, and no alcohol, drugs, weapons while on bond.
All right, Mr. Kelbaugh?
Yes, Your Honor. He is in jail on some other, he has in jail on some felony charges also, so I have no objection to a $4,000 surety bond with the conditions. I will just say that for the court's awareness, so we had the preliminary hearing on this yesterday. It was originally, I guess he was originally charged with a felony. We had the preliminary hearing and the judge found there was not probable cause for the felony, which is why it was transferred to state court. And he had a $15,000 good bond there that was, but I guess this is, we're fine with a $4,000 surety bond on this. I'm fine.
Okay, right, and I understand, like you say, the speed and how it happened. I will grant that $4,000 surety bond. I'm going to order no further contact with the victim, DeMarcus Bussey. No drugs, alcohol, weapons, or guns while on bond. And that is it. Anything else? Did I leave out anything? Nope.
What was that contact?
No further contact with DeMarcus Bussey. And that is it.
Thank you, Your Honor. May I be excused?
Yes, you may. Thank you. Have a good weekend.
You too.
Thanks.
Judge, Miss Adams is still in the breakout room. And I believe the only two cases I have left are the two cases that I requested breakout rooms for.
Okay. Those are, let's see, positions 4 and 5. Oh, and 7.
Position 12.
We also got position 7, Mr. Lewis.
And position 7, that is the other one. So it's 7 and 12.
Okay.
And then what's going on with position 5? I'm just coming back in.
5 is the Spanish interpreter.
So do we still don't have a Spanish interpreter for position 5? Oh, there.
I think she's on the line.
Okay, thank you.
Uh-huh. And I see parts. I see 2, a Peggy Parks and a Margaret Parks. Which cases are you here on?
She is the alleged victim for position 12.
12, okay. Gotcha. And I see an iPhone Diarma.
I believe she is the alleged victim for position 5.
Okay. And then I have one more. Is that Kiana Quisenberry?
That's an employee.
Oh, that's an employee. Okay, sorry. And I guess the interpreter's still in the breakout.
Yeah. You want Michael to get them?
Tell him to hurry, Michael. Oh, I know it takes a little bit longer with the interpreter.
Thank you for the time, Your Honor.
All right.
Sorry, would you like to swear me in?
Yes, I saw you doing that.
Mhm.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm that you will faithfully interpret from Spanish to English and English to Spanish the proceedings before the court in an accurate manner and with the best of your skill and not to the best of your skill and knowledge with no embellishments?
Yes, Your Honor, I do.
Thank you.
Mhm.
All right, this is position 5, is that
Okay.
correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, this is 23 CR 0029114J.
Esta es la posición 5, 230R002914J.
And I will allow you to pronounce the name of the defendant, Madam
The
Interpreter.
defendant's name is Sergio Inés Asunción.
Okay, he's charged with 1 count of battery family violence.
Tiene un cargo por golpes y lesiones, violencia familiar,
Offense date May 11, 2023.
y la fecha del incidente es el 11 de mayo del 2023.
Trial.
Servicios previos al juicio, por favor.
Eighth arrest. Last was 2011 trespass.
Es
20
el octavo arresto, el último fue en el 2011 por
Ajá.
allanamiento de morada. I'm sorry.
2011 battery DV, 2010 simple battery DV, and 2010 battery DV. That's all.
El 2011 por golpes y lesiones, también en el 2010 golpes y lesiones, y en el 2010 también otro arresto por golpes y lesiones.
All right, state.
Yes, Your Honor. So this incident occurred yesterday at 2565 Old Milton Parkway.
Esto ocurrió en el 2565 de Old Milton Parkway el día de ayer.
And this is where officers arrived in response to a domestic dispute.
Y los oficiales arribaron debido a una disputa doméstica.
Officers spoke with Miss Irma Landa, who informed officers that she was driving her boyfriend, who is the defendant, because he had been drinking yesterday.
Y los oficiales hablaron con Irma Lanta, que les declaró que ella estaba llevando a su novio manejando porque él había estado bebiendo.
The two got into an argument, and then the defendant started to hit her on the right side of her face with a closed fist.
Los dos se comenzaron a discutir porque el acusado comenzó a golpearla en la parte derecha de la cara con el puño.
Officers observed bruising and swelling to Miss Irma's right cheekbone.
Y los oficiales observaron que había moretones e inflamación en el área de la mejilla derecha.
Our victim advocate spoke to Miss Irma today, and she let us know that her and the defendant live together and that they are in a relationship.
Y nuestra defensora de víctima habló con la señora Irma, quien le informó que ellos dos viven juntos y tienen una relación.
Ms. Irma let us know that this is not the first time the defendant had been violent with her, and she also confirmed the events in the warrant.
La señora Irma ha dicho que esta no es la primera vez que el acusado es violento hacia ella y también ha quedado establecido en la orden de arresto.
She let us know that she does not want any contact with the defendant, and she wants him to stay away from their residence.
Ella nos ha dicho que no quiere ningún tipo de contacto con el acusado y que quiere que él se mantenga alejado de su residencia.
She also stated that she would like for his brother to come get his belongings, or that she will bring his things to his job so he can pick them up there.
Ella también expresó que quiere que el hermano de él venga a buscar sus pertenencias personales, o ella la llevaría a donde él trabaja para que él venga a recogerlas allí.
The state's recommendation is a $3,000 surety bond, 1-day anger awareness course, no further contact with Ms. Irma Landa, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons while out on bond, and to stay away from their shared residence, which is 12641 Brown Bridge Road, Covington, Georgia.
La fiscalía tiene una recomendación de una fianza de $3,000 bajo garantía que tome un curso de manejo para la ira, que no tenga ningún tipo de contacto más con la víctima Irma Landa. Queda prohibido el uso de drogas, alcohol y armas, y que también se mantenga alejado de la dirección de la residencia de ambos, que es el 12641 Brown Bridge en Covington, Georgia.
And if Ms. Irma Landa is on the Zoom call, which I believe she is, I would like to sound for her.
Y si la señora Irma Landa está en la plataforma de Zoom, queremos llamarla. Por favor, encienda su cámara y su micrófono, por favor. Irma Landa.
She was.
Ella estaba en la plataforma.
Yes, Irma Landa on the line.
Señora Irma Landa, ¿está usted en la plataforma de Zoom?
Think she has left the Zoom.
Creo que sí hay.
All right, go ahead, PD Adams.
Yes, thank
Señora
you, Your Honor.
Adams.
Yes, thank you, Your Honor.
Gracias, señoría.
Yes, Mr. Inez Anuncion is a 35-year-old man.
El señor Inés Asunción es un hombre de 35 años de edad.
He's a father of 4 children of his own.
Él es padre de 4 hijos suyos.
He also was the caretaker of the complaining witness's 3 children.
Y también es el quien cuidaba, mantenía financieramente a los 3 hijos de la víctima.
It's our understanding that he has not had any arrests since 2011.
Se entiende que no tuvo ningún arresto desde el 2011.
He's lived in the United States for about 5 to 6 years.
Él ha vivido en los Estados Unidos desde hace aproximadamente 5 o 6 años.
He's completed 2 years of high school.
Él terminó 2 años de la escuela secundaria.
Despite the fact that he is not a citizen, he is gainfully employed.
A pesar de que él no es un ciudadano estadounidense, él tiene un empleo remunerable.
He does not make a lot of money, and he also sends money to Mexico, where his children reside.
Él no gana mucho dinero, pero de todas maneras él manda dinero a México, donde viven sus hijos.
With regards to bond, Your Honor, we are asking for a low bond. In addition to, if the court sees fit that he stay away, he does have another place to go.
Y nosotros quisiera pedir que si hay una fianza que sea baja, adicionalmente, él también acepta mantenerse alejado de la residencia porque él tiene otro lugar a donde ir a vivir.
All right.
Muy bien.
I will order the $3,000 surety bond.
Yo ordeno la fianza bajo garantía de $3,000.
I'm going to order a stay away from the 12641 Brown Bridge Road,
La
Covington,
orden,
Georgia.
oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Ordeno que se mantenga alejado del domicilio 12641 Brown Bridge en Covington, Georgia.
No further contact with the victim, Irma Landa.
No tener más contacto alguno con la víctima Irma Landa.
No drugs, alcohol, weapons or guns while on bond.
Y queda prohibido el uso de drogas, alcohol y armas mientras esté libre bajo fianza.
And what is the address for the 2565 Old Milton Parkway?
That is just a parking lot where Miss Irma called the police, and that's where they met.
Okay.
¿Y cuál es el domicilio de 2561 Old Milton Parkway? Es un estacionamiento en donde la señora Erma, desde donde la señora Erma llamó a la policía.
All right, that's all I'll order for now.
Your
Eso es
Honor, I'm
todo.
sorry, I'm sorry to interrupt.
Mhm.
One thing that we would like to also request, since he cannot return, is a police escort so he can retrieve his belongings.
Una de las cosas que quiero pedir es que se le otorgue una sola vez oportunidad para ir con un policía a recoger sus pertenencias personales a la residencia de ambos.
Since this just happened, I'm not going to allow him to return to get his items. The victim has stated that she will allow his brother to retrieve his items. So I think that will be the safer way if she's not in fear of the brother, that the brother can make contact with the victim to retrieve his items. I do not want her taking them to his job to leave them either. That would not be the proper way to do that.
Como esto ha ocurrido recientemente, la víctima ha dicho no que el hermano puede ir a recoger sus pertenencias personales porque ella se ve no le teme al hermano, pero no voy a permitir que ella le lleve sus pertenencias personales al trabajo de él.
All right, anything else, counsel?
¿Algo más?
Not at this time, Your Honor.
¿Eso es todo?
All right, thank you. That completes the case.
All right.
Your client is raising his hand, PD Adams.
If it's about bond, if it's about your case, then we're not going to talk about it. But if it's about bond, you can ask the question.
Señor, si se trata lo que quiere decir sobre su caso, no vamos a decir nada sobre él. Pero si se trata de la fianza, entonces sí. Yes, it's about the bond. Dígame, señor.
No, bueno, si ahorita yo no tengo el dinero para pagar la fianza.
Well, I don't have the money to pay the bond.
¿Cómo le haría o cuánto tiempo estaría aquí encerrado?
How do I do it? How long will I be locked up?
He may be able to get in contact with a bonding company that can help him.
Usted podría contactar a una compañía fiancista para eso.
Pero si no, ¿cuánto tiempo estaría encerrado aquí?
If I can't, how long would I have to stay locked up in here?
He'll have another court date. Your Honor, when was the SAP calendar?
May 25th.
He'll have another court date on May 25th to redress that.
Para volver a dirigirse a este caso, en caso que eso pasara, hay una nueva audiencia el 25 de mayo de este año. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. All right. Next.
All right. Thank you, Your Honor. Have a good
All
evening.
right, thank you. Have a
You're
good weekend.
welcome.
All
You
right,
too.
bye-bye.
Judge, we're ready for positions 7 and 12 for their breakout.
Okay.
Your Honor, I would also need a breakout for position number 4.
So those are the only ones we have left.
I believe so.
Can we just stop recording without going to the breakout on those?
They all relate to MH.
Also, position 4 is to waive their appearance.
Yes, Your Honor.
What about the add-on one?
We already handled add-on 1, didn't we? Wasn't
believe
one
that was
add-on
Drummond.
1 Drummond?
We did.
Okay, we already handled that. Do we need
PD Adams, you need to go to the breakout too?
Can you put me in that breakout also?
Judge Mency, are we ready?
Did the speaker go loud or something? Cause we can't hear her.
Is she muted?
Sorry.
Oh.
No wonder you didn't answer me. Sorry. All right, this is whom at the table?
This is position 12, Mr. Ray.
Okay, I'm going to, order a, since we've discussed the case in the breakout, and right now I want to at least give the ruling and move forward, and I will talk to, the victims once we're done with that. He has a $5,000 surety bond, and he is to stay away from 27 Saratoga Place in Atlanta. Have no further contact with the victims or the owners. Was parked. Is to get an MH eval, and he will be placed on the competency calendar for next week. Okay. That will conclude his case.
This is position 7, Mr. Gene Lewis.
And hold on, Ms. Parks, I'll talk to you in a second, okay? This is position 7. We discussed this case in the breakout as well. Mr. Jean-Louis going to order a $5,000 surety bond. That'll be $2,000 on the first charge and $1,000 on the other 3. He is to stay away from the Exxon at 1105 Holcomb Bridge Road in Roswell. He has been ordered to get an MH eval. We placed on the competency calendar next week. No drugs, alcohol, weapons, or guns while on bond. Okay.
What type of bond is it?
Surety. And that's it for his case.
We're completed here in courtroom 2, Judge.
All right, thank you. Have a good weekend.
Thank you. You do the same.
All right. I understand. Hold on, Ms. Parks. Okay. And so, Ms. Parks, can you unmute yourself? The little red microphone, click that.
Unmute. Okay,
Okay. Hi, good afternoon.
good afternoon. How are you?
I am fine. How about you?
I'm not well. This is the second time this individual has trespassed within 1 year. He was here a year ago. He busted through my glass door. He was in my hallway when I woke up at 7 o'clock in the morning. I was in my nightgown. I was surprised. I have a glass door, which I had to repair, which cost me thousands of dollars, but that's the least of my worries. The problem is that I am fearing for my safety. He was here a year ago, and as I said, he busted through my door, and he's back a year later. He spent 3 hours on my back deck. And I don't want this man, I am opposed to any bond. I don't want him on the street. I'm just fearing for my safety. That's all I have to say.
Right, I understand. By law, he gets a bond of some sort, which I have done. All right. The charge in this crime does not warrant no bond. This is a misdemeanor. And I want you to keep in contact with the solicitor's office and the victim witness advocate there. Have you spoken to someone from the solicitor's office yet?
Yes, I have this morning.
Okay. And so the advocate is the person that you need to keep in close contact with so that he or she can provide you with some other suggestions and services, as well as having the prosecutors to talk to you about this case. So what we did, and I wanted to kind of get you, get the defendant off this Zoom so that he would not see you too much longer or be able to see you. And so I thought that would be safer as well. So that's why I kind of got him off, let him know what his bond is. But with that bond, that he has a $5,000 surety bond, he has to get a mental health evaluation, and he is referred to the competency calendar next week. And hopefully he will have that evaluation by then or soon thereafter. So he should not be going anywhere with those conditions. And I'm not for sure what else I can tell you, except that this is the bond hearing. This is obviously not the trial. And I believe, obviously, they will let you know if something happens that he will not be bonded out before he gets these evaluations. Don't know if he'll be determined as competent to stand trial or to proceed or not. That'll have to be determined by the doctors that will evaluate him. But I do understand your fear and how afraid you must be. Obviously, there's some mental health issues going on that we're going to try to get to the bottom of, or at least get some treatment for him with those, so that hopefully he will not come back and be unfixated on your home, for lack of a better word. And I know that the victim witness advocates or the prosecutors will talk to you about the case. Sometimes in situations like this, I have also heard of the police coming by to do an assessment or evaluation of your home for those vulnerable spots. Everyone has the ring and the cameras and the security systems, and I know all that cost. But you may want to invest in some of those so that there are more alerts and things of that nature for you if he gets out, when he gets out, so that hopefully he won't be back there, but just for your general safety. So I understand you live alone, is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor. But last year I spent thousands of dollars to secure this house. I have 8-foot fences that he
Wow.
jumped over. I
8
have
foot.
barbed wire in the backyard. I have the ring. I don't have cameras. In fact, I have a gentleman coming today at 4 o'clock to give me an estimate for cameras.
Okay, in the back.
Don't know what agility he has. I mean, he's a short man and he jumped over an 8-foot fence that I had put up.
With the barbed wire on top?
No, the barbed wire is in the back of the house.
Mm-hmm.
He jumped a fence in the front on the left of my garage, and that's 8 feet. And I have been looking out there for the last 24 hours. I don't understand how he could have jumped that fence, but he did. He was in my backyard for 3 hours.
I am so sorry to hear that. ASG Young and ASG Bickerstaff, any other assistance that you all can provide, as well as maybe one of your investigators having any other suggestions, because a lot of times they are former law enforcement or have those kind of skill set that they may have to give you any other suggestions on your safety. And I know it's probably hard to close your eyes and sleep at night, I bet. Right now you could sleep a little bit, as they say, because he's going to be in jail for a second. But I cannot, promise you that, because they have this case is only a misdemeanor, so it's not a felony. And the maximum could be 1 year in jail, $1,000 fine, so.
But last year was not a misdemeanor. It was a
felony.
felony.
Right.
And I don't understand why the case was dismissed.
Yeah, I don't know because I was.
No,
not-
I know you don't know. I
Yeah.
know.
And so that is something that the assistant solicitors can find out for you and give you a better explanation of the legal system as it exists. You know, a lot of people become disappointed with it, and we understand. But they can provide you with some better explanations than I can about the previous case or why it was dismissed as a felony and made a misdemeanor, or continued with the misdemeanor anyway. But we will continue down this road with the evaluations and the competency calendar. And hopefully that will give you some ultimate relief, depending on what the outcome is in state court. Okay.
Your Honor, if I have one question, has this man been staring at me for 2 hours on Zoom?
Well,
see
he
me
probably
the whole
can't see the camera that well from sitting in the galley where he was. But if he could see well and knew the name, I don't know if he's aware. And so maybe, I don't think the whole time, because they have a little laptop down there, don't they? I don't think it's a desktop. I don't know. Is it at the jail? I think it's a laptop. I don't quote me for sure, but they can't see that well, I don't think, at a distance from where they are. So I wouldn't confirm that at all.
I just feel this was a bad idea. I should have never been on Zoom for 2 hours with this man being able to see me, whether he saw me well or not.
Yeah. Talk to the victim witness advocate. They will have some resources for you, and maybe some support groups to get in as well, that could kind of help you with going through this type of case and the fear that it obviously is putting you through at this time. There are some support groups I know that they have, but do the best you can to secure your property. And it sounds like you have.
Yeah. What else can I do? I'm not moving. And of course,
barbed
I live
wire.
in my backyard. I have Peachtree Creek, and we have a bunch of homeless people living there. That's
Yeah,
the problem.
you probably do need to speak with an investigator and law enforcement, and or someone with the solicitor's office if that's what's going on behind you. Because there could be another case. I don't want to scare you, but you want to try to get that alleviated behind you if that's what's going on as well.
And we have been trying to work with this. Our homeowners has been working with this problem for 2 or 3 hours.
Wow.
The Atlanta police is very well over it. We have our own Pine Hill security.
Wow.
But, I mean, for this man to come twice within 1 year, almost to the day, is probably the most frightening thing I've done. That's happened to me.
Well, I hope that you can now bring more awareness to it, and get some other help from APD as well as the solicitor's office, and see what they can do to help with this problem, and working with your HOA as well. Okay.
We have been doing that. Thank you, Your Honor.
Yes, good luck to you and stay safe.
Thank you very much.
All right. All right. You're welcome.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. And is that it, Ms. Strong?
Ms. Adams' case.
I'm sorry.
Yes, Michael Hines, position 4. We didn't call that
Oh.
one.
Oh, that's right. Hold on. Michael Hines. 23 CR 002913J. charged with one count of public indecency. And I ordered a $3,000 surety bond. MHET, move to the competency calendar, stay away from 340 South Atlanta Street. Baptist Church is the South Atlanta Street and the church is Atlanta Street Baptist Church.
Yes,
Did I get that right? Okay.
yes.
And stay away from there. MHET, competency calendar, no drugs, alcohol, weapons, or guns while on bond. And I think that's it for position 4. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay. And
Are
then
you ready to
we
go over
have
the
every-
calendar?
Yep, I was gonna say, Ms. Strong should have everything now.
Okay, position number 1 was a $3,000 cash bond reset for May the 25th. Position number 2 was a $5,000 signature bond through the jail. Position number 3 was a $4,000 signature bond through pretrial per judge. Position number 4 was a $3,000 good bond reset for May the 25th. Position number 5 was a $3,000 good bond reset for May the 25th. Position number 6 was a $4,000 signature bond through pretrial per judge. Position number 7, $5,000 good bond reset for May 25th competency calendar. Position number 8 was a $4,000 good bond reset for May the 25th. Position number 9, $2,000 signature bond through the jail. 10 was a $3,000 signature bond through a pretrial. Position number 11, $2,500 signature bond through the jail. 13 was a $5,000 good bond reset for May the 25th competency calendar. 13 was a $1,500 good bond reset for May the 25th. Position 14 was a $4,000 good bond reset for May the 25th. 15, $1,500 signature bond through the jail. Position number 16 was also $1,500 signature bond through the jail. Position number 17 was a $1,500 signature bond through the jail. Position number 18 was a $1,500 signature bond through the jail, and position number 19 was a $5,000 good bond reset for May the 25th. I have a question on Mr. Williams.
Okay.
Was there a stay away for him as well? I don't remember us saying that, but I know it was one for the co-defendant.
Should have been that same.
The same address. I just want to confirm. I don't remember hearing it, and maybe I missed
Or
it.
is this is not the one that lived there. That was the other one with the
So,
two different
Mr.
apartment
Williams-
numbers.
Mr. Williams lives with this co-defendant. They reside in the same place.
In the same, like,
Unit.
uh,
Yes.
unit
But
they both.
different apartment numbers, right?
No, the same,
Oh, this one is the
Mr.
same
Williams
one.
and Mr., I believe Philip Johnson is his name. They both reside in the same.
Okay, so basically they
Apartment.
both have the same stay away restrictions.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. State, let me make sure you all note for position 12 with Mr. Ray, and make sure that with Miss Parks, that the next time, well, for the 25th on the calendar, when they inform her, that they allow her to keep her camera off.
Yes, Judge. Our victim advocate told her to keep the camera off until it was her turn.
Right.
Maybe she didn't understand how to do that, but we'll make sure of it next time.
Right. And that way, and we'll say she doesn't need to turn it on at all. I don't know if it'll be me on the 25th or not. I don't think
Judge, on the competency calendar, they don't bring the defendants out anyway.
they don't even do it. Okay. Right. But if he comes back, well, he's not going to come back on SAP anyway, right?
Right, he would just be on the competency calendar, and they don't bring the defendants out.
Good. Yeah. And just see if one of your investigators or somebody can talk with her sounds like she's done every darn thing. I don't know how he scaled that 8-foot fence.
Yeah, Judge, real quick, may I be excused?
Oh yeah, I thought you already left me.
Nah, not yet, but I'm going now. Y'all have a good weekend, happy Mother's Day.
Thank you. Have a good weekend.
Bye.
All right. To see if there's anything else that they can advise her to do. I know when years ago when my house got broken into, think it was College Park Police. Or may have been Fulton County Police. They go out, and she may have already had this done too, and they do an assessment of your home, where the vulnerable spots are, and just how criminals, of course, I would call him a criminal, but also a mental health person sees, it's nothing they can't do. But it sounds like it's a bigger problem with this creek in the back and the homeless sleeping back there, wherever this is. I'm not as familiar with the location. And see if there's anything that can be provided to the HOA, or then it may be a neighborhood of a lot of elderly people. And so see if you guys can do any outreach or anything. And I'm sure Mr. Gamage is like, what is she saying? Giving us one more thing to do. But maybe something to maybe calm her down, because I do sense her fear, and I know she's very scared. So anyway, everybody go have a good weekend. I'll wait for your email, Ms. Strong.
Where the regular one is where I just wanted to confirm where you want me to send it.
No, Gmail.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right. Well, happy Mother's Day.
Thank you. Same to you.
Thank you.
All right. Same to all those who are moms. All right. Take care, everybody.
Bye.
Bye-bye.